Hi, here we are back in council chambers. I put up a great example here of the 710 freeway. I've talked about it, that it's the actual threat to our city, not a proposed or conceptual threat that my opponents or the candidates talk about the tunnel. The tunnel is only conceptual, but here we're going to talk about the actual 710 freeway in the Meridian Corridor, which has already been designed. Here you can see it. 710 Long Beach Extension. This is a overview map of the actual design that has already been done of the freeway. Starting up here at the 210 freeway as it comes down to Del Mar and California Boulevard, which is already existing. Right here is where it combines into St. John's and Pasadena Avenue. But the freeway would come down through, cross over Columbia Street right here, head down through South Pasadena, crossing the Pasadena Freeway here, coming down what we know as Meridian Boulevard, crossing here, Monterey Road, passing behind the high school, just around here, all the way down here to where we're leaving South Pasadena, Kendall Avenue, or which people know on the other side is Alhambra Road. Right here, you see the Cloverleaf intersection of the Huntington Drive and the 710 Surface Freeway, taking out almost 7 square blocks of homes in El Sereno. As it comes down through El Sereno territory, here, crossing over Poplar Boulevard, Templeton, and then crossing Alhambra Road, crossing over a bridge over the railroad tracks, and then ending here at Valley Boulevard where the freeway ends. Let's take a little closer look at this, and you see a lot of dots here on the map. These dots, the dots in blue, represent properties already owned by the state of California, owned by Caltrans, currently either demolished or rented out. As you can see, these properties are scattered throughout South Pasadena and down into Los Angeles. Now, the danger is, if the Surface Freeway does get approved as one of the alternatives in this environmental study, is the pink. What you see in pink are properties that still need to be purchased to put this freeway through. As you see over here in South Pasadena, they're going to have to buy up almost all of Rollin up toward the Snake Trail. They'll have to buy up houses already built on Flores de Oro. Gillette Crescent will be gone. Most of Meridian Street will be gone. Summit, Oneonta Knoll, Alpha, along from La Fragmentia all the way down to Kendall or Moffett, right down here. All stuff that will have to be bought, families displaced, and that's what we have to talk about. That's what's at risk. Just saying no to any alternative versus really examining what benefits to our citizens the tunnel alternative may bring, or maybe the multimodal alternatives that can bring. But our city just saying no poses a great danger of getting this surface freeway back on the table and as a real reality. Here we are in a close-up, starting at the 210 freeway, working our way down. Reminder, dots in blue are homes that are already purchased and owned by the state of California. Those in pink are the ones that have already been predetermined that will have to be bought if the surface freeway is elected as the correct alternative. Here we are entering South Pasadena. Right over the high school, you could see the track and field. You can see all the houses in pink that are already targeted to be bought to clear for this freeway. Here we're coming down toward the end of South Pasadena as it crosses over Kendall, heads down to the Cloverleaf at Huntington Drive, which will clear 7 square blocks of homes at Huntington Drive. and it heads farther south down to where it is at Valley Boulevard. There are a lot of reasons why the 710 freeway extension has been fought for over 50 years. But here in this diagram, you can see the devastation that the surface freeway would do to our city, taking out thousands of homes, displacing thousands of families, children, pets, destroying thousands, maybe millions of trees, and destroying the natural habitat for birds, raccoons, coyotes that live in this corridor and have lived in this corridor ever since South Pasadena evolved or became an incorporated city. But what I've always said is, are we willing to put all this devastation at risk on a notion of just saying no to all alternatives? And that's what I mean, saying no to a tunnel, no to a surface freeway. I've always said I will never let the surface freeway devastate our city, but the option is to make sure this goes away forever. There are those that want to be on council, that want to take the council in a different direction, one that's going to make this freeway an actuality. It will be built because it is the cheapest alternative to get it done. Yes, it's not the most environmentally friendly, but again, Caltrans and the state of California are not real credible on doing environmentally friendly things. And as we saw just recently with the awarding of the contract of the environmental study, $35 million environmental study to study this entire corridor, which is probably the most extensive one in our lifetimes. Taking the tunnel as an alternative and those other alternatives behind it off the table, South Pasadena, will ultimately make this possible, making this freeway ultimate possibility, because one, the cost of a surface freeway is still cheaper than building a tunnel or any other alternative, whether it be multimodal, electric freight trains, inland ports, more light rail. This is something that that has funding for it, something that's different than it's ever been in our lifetimes. Here we are at the corner of Monterey Road at Meridian. You know, there's a lot at stake with this freeway fight. How would it affect our city? Let's take a look at a great example. Here we are. Let's take a look up north up Meridian. How would it change if the freeway, surface freeway, came through? This is what's at stake. 3 lanes of traffic, 6-lane freeway, going north, going south. Imagine if this was the bridge crossing over Monterey Road, looking north on Meridian. This is what is at stake. This has already been designed. It's already ready to go. Is it worth the gamble? Again, to prove a point, here we are at Meridian and Summit. What would the 710 do, the surface freeway? What would be the effect on our citizens? Is it worth the gamble? Let's take a look at Meridian today, and if we lose the fight to the 710 freeway, this is how it will look. is the most devastating option of all the options being evaluated in the environmental study. But even though South Pasadena requested to be removed, of course, reasons saying, and our best legal counsel had proposed a letter to the Metro Board to remove it from consideration, even though it had all the legalese, all the amendments and all the little letters from the State Assembly saying it was never going to be built. Politics got involved. Politics at Metro got involved saying that, one, keep the surface freeway as an option, and the main reason is because they don't trust South Pasadena. They see the candidates saying that they're going to oppose and fight the tunnel. They're going to oppose and fight any options. That's why the surface freeway is probably the most achievable goal of Caltrans and Metro than it ever has been, thanks to Measure R passed by the voters, which funded the completion of this gap. Ideally by a tunnel is what it was proposed to be. But, of course, you see in the awarding of the contract, all options, whether it's tunnel, surface route, or even something they call an above-ground alternative, is being considered. And is it worth that gamble? Is it worth gambling all these properties, all these families along South Pasadena by saying no to everything?